Hi, my name is Evan Balin, and I'm the author of Outsmarting Social Media. I run a marketing company currently. It is called First Page Sage, and we work with Fortune 500 companies, celebrities, politicians, and my favorite, small businesses. And we also have an arm called Good Media, which is for the nonprofit sector and the good cause sector. Mainly what my companies do for other businesses is search engine optimization, Facebook targeted fan building or audience building on Facebook, and making YouTube videos go viral. And the other thing we do, which we're sort of a secret weapon for a lot of prominent folks out there, is reputation management, where we make sure that the first page of Google looks at least neutral for a search of your name or your company's name. I originally wrote Outsmarting Social Media because social media is a word that is thrown around so much, and a lot of the same cliches are floating around out there, and I think people are sort of confused about what to do. Do you just update your Twitter status all the time, your Facebook status, and what does that really accomplish? How does that actually translate to profits? So my thought was, I'm going to take this huge cloud of information that is a little overbearing for people and break it down into really simple terms so that people can understand the best uses of social media as it applies to making money from it for your business. Outsmarting social media is for all people. It was made to be digested by the beginner, the person who knows enough to have an account on Facebook or Twitter, but doesn't exactly know what to do with it from there. It's also made for the intermediate or advanced social media user who knows all of the things that are out there that they have heard should be done with social media, but isn't quite sure how this really benefits them and what they could be doing to maximize their benefit in terms of exposure, becoming well known from social media as a company or as an individual, and in terms of making money from it. My book stands out because of the experience and resources that were put into the book. So first of all, I've been a marketer doing marketing for my own companies and for other people's companies for 8 years. I've sold 5 of my own businesses. You're not going to find many authors who write about social media that have such an experience building up their own companies through social media, making them into multi-million-dollar businesses, and then selling them. So I think that experience is invaluable. Also, I've met so many people over the years, and in writing this book, I've had the wonderful opportunity to interview people inside Facebook, inside Google, Twitter, and a lot of other startups that are pretty big in the space. So you're getting exclusive interviews with people at the major companies that are dictating what happens inside the space. I'd say the first takeaway that's really important is somewhat obvious, which is that you should be updating your status frequently and doing so in an interesting way. And by frequently, I mean once a day, twice a day. I don't mean more than that. But the people that use social media the most are the ones that will succeed in the coming age of social media. That's the first takeaway. The second takeaway would be that you want to optimize people's involvement in what you're sharing. So if you're frequently updating your status on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or any other social network, but you're just giving updates or links to articles that are sort of mundane, you're not actually accomplishing what social media is about. Social media is about sparking interest, starting conversations. So if you write about really interesting things, if you create fascinating new content and you link to that, and other people start sharing it and talking about it, you're using social media in the optimal way. So creating things that are interesting, putting real time and thought into your status updates, and doing that on a consistent basis, that is the key to succeeding in social media. The third takeaway is that you should be taking advantage of the hard work that other people have put into building up their audiences and their exposure, and asking other people who have big social media followings to talk about your content. If you don't ask, you're never going to receive. And it sounds obvious, but the biggest problem that I see when I go out and talk to people, when I do speeches, is that most people are a little bit shy about asking other people to share their content. It's very unusual, actually, for someone to come up to me and say, Evan, would you mind talking about the company that I just started or the nonprofit that I'm working with? And I'm right there in front of them. They can see that I care, that I want to be involved with people, that I want to connect with people. They know that I have over 100,000 fans on my Facebook page. And yet very few people have the guts to say, would you mind talking about it? Because they think, oh, why will he be interested? But in reality, I'm interested in listening to anyone that has something to say. And if I find it interesting enough, or if it appeals to me personally, I'm going to talk about it. And suddenly your audience size has grown by a huge amount.